Hey, hey, hey. Oh, shoot.
That's okay.
There you go. What's
You
up,
can mute my
everybody?
mic.
Welcome back to Girl Chat Sports. We are live
Yes.
here on a wonderful Wednesday. Mo, how's it going? How's your week been?
We're good. We're good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The weekend is here for me. Shout out
Yes.
to our sponsors because I'm ready to kick it
Get it
off.
in. Let's go. Shout
Yes.
out to One Hope Wine. Thank you to Sabrina Moore. A little more to sip. You can check her out at www.onehopewine.com/myshop/Sibernia More SIBERINA-MOORE. Listen, we've been over here. You know how hard it is to try and save a bottle over the course of some days, weeks. I can't even get in there, but
Listen, the bottle's gone. This was the last of. No, I still have another week left, but I've got other bottles I could drink if I wanted to.
cheers to you, Mo.
Cheers to you too, Melissa.
Yes.
Yes. I'm representing George Floyd today. I got my Fear God GF. Thank you for my boy 1.XXX, also
Love
known as
it.
Alex. Thank
Love
you for
it.
the
Love
lovely
it.
gift because I've been wanting this shirt and couldn't get it when Fear God had released it. It's a little oversized, it's very big,
Maybe
but
you can do like some
I can
cutting or
make it
some,
work. I
yeah.
literally have it wearing like a dress right now, and I could take one of my little designer belts and cinch it and make it a
Yes.
dress. I might
Make
cut
it a
off the
dress.
sleeves and stuff. I might do some
Yeah.
little freak stuff to it.
I
But I
like it. I
wanted to
like
just
it.
shout out my boy real quick.
And we
Thank you
did
so
have the
much,
verdict that
Alex.
came in yesterday in regards to George Floyd and the
Yeah, we
trial.
did. We did. So prayers and blessings to the family
Yes.
of Floyd, and I'm giving my girl power to Darnella,
Okay.
17-year-old who filmed the whole thing. She
Yes.
deserves that. So I'm just gonna do early girl power to her. Give
That's
her
wonderful.
flowers. Pray for her too, because I mean, I don't know how I could be filming and feeling guilt at the same time of not being able to do anything, even though she did do something by exposing this to the world. And then the mental trauma she has after that too. So give her flowers on that.
For sure, for that. And then also, wasn't she also threatened because she had taken that video as well?
I
Like
mean,
she
it's
was,
everything. Yeah, it encompasses it all. I'm sure she was threatened for taking that. Yeah,
that's so
sure she
ridiculous.
was. And give her flowers on that. Give the family their flowers.
Yeah, watching those videos yesterday of the family after they heard the verdict was so emotional. I mean, the event itself was emotional, but seeing the family and how they reacted, I mean, it gives them some kind of hope, closure,
Hope
although
for a
we still have
closure.
8 weeks to wait to see what the sentencing
Yeah,
is.
justice is with him being alive, to me, in my opinion. Justice is him being alive, along with Breonna Taylor,
Yes.
along with Ahmaud Arbery, along with Dante that just got killed,
And
along with
Michaela.
Adam Toledo, who had his hands up clearly in the video and got killed. Shout out to my Latinos and people of the brown community. That was theirs, for now, and many others I'm sure that we haven't heard about. But
Right.
we have a long ways to go, and we still have a lot of work to do. So the accountability measure was taken. I want to see what the sentence looks like for this guy, because that's where the message needs to come loud and clear that it's just not okay. And I'm waiting for that. So in the meantime, we have a small window of opportunity for that to make the change. Hopefully it does. But for now, we'll take those guilty verdicts, and I hope that helps with some of the family and their emotions. But us, we're still got to keep our nose to the ground, and we still got to fight the fight. Because it ain't a celebration. It ain't justice until there's a law passed that black people don't get killed by cops, or brown people, or anybody of any nationality. So that's not justice yet till we see that. So I say I congratulate the accountability of this cop, getting the accountability measures of being proven guilty for this, because that's the accountability factor to it. But the justice still needs to come, and we're waiting for that, and we're not backing down from that. So we demand that. We still demand it.
Yeah.
But it's a very emotional
still a
week.
very long way today. Long way to go.
A long way to go, but it's still
and we still got the 3 other police officers that were there with him that are needed to stand trial too. So let this continue to play out.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, their complicity is just as guilty to me. So, in my opinion, so they need to Definitely face that. And then you had texted me. You had texted me about my boy Mark Davis. Shout out to Quan. He tagged me on it.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of different athletes, celebrities, everybody's tweeting about this. And Mark Davis had tweeted that I can breathe.
I can breathe. Well, he claims it was him. Now, how many times?
I believe it was him.
But how many times has Mark Davis taken over the Raiders Twitter account that we know of? That's my only thing. Is like, I just don't know. Maybe he's trying to keep it off the Raiders organization and say it was him, but wouldn't he have just posted that in his own Twitter? Why wouldn't he have just tweeted it himself on Mark Davis Twitter? Doesn't he have his own Twitter?
I don't think he does.
It just seems odd. I mean, I appreciate him for someone taking accountability for it, but it was just more like, why would you have posted it? That's like me posting what I want to post, but putting it on Girl Chat when.
Well, let me tell you the context of where he was coming from there. Because Mark is not wrong. It's embarrassing.
No,
and yes,
it came out wrong.
Yeah, I was pissed that it was embarrassing, but it wasn't even that it came out wrong. George Floyd's brother had put a long message in responding to the Raiders tweet, saying that they as a family can breathe now. Mark took that context to tweet in solidarity to the family.
Right.
So I'm not going to sit here and bash Mark Davis when I know for a fact as a Raider fan and the history of a Raider fan franchise that we are the only franchise behind the shield that has been that franchise that have a black coach when there weren't black coaches, to have a black woman in our head office when there wasn't a black woman in head office, to hire the first Latino coach, Tom Flores, rest in peace, and to have the diversity of a fan base that looks like me and some of my Latin brothers and sisters and any other culture that wants to come. That is the only arena I can go to where even in the nice primo seats, I see people that look like me in an organization like the Raiders. So I'm not going to cancel Mark Davis. Yes, it was embarrassing. Yes, it pissed me off. And yes, he made a mistake. But if you understand the context of where he was coming from, Al Davis has a history of always being inclusionary when it comes to people, despite what the Shield says. This is also the same franchise that goes to HBCUs that actually recruits players other than any other NFL team. So let's be real about that. So I'm not about to cancel the Raiders. And not to mention, Mark Davis bought the Aces. He basically saved the Aces. Yeah. So you better be giving this man some of his flowers. Yes, he made a mistake. Yes, we called him out on it. Yes, we understand the context of where it came from. His brother spoke on it. But I'm not canceling the Raiders over this. Not by far. When they've been the only franchise behind the shield that I know of that has included me and made me feel a part of a football family or being a fan.
Right.
And had representation that showed that.
Well, and
I think shout out my black and silver all day.
No, I think and the thing is that I also got some tweets or I got some screenshots of the tweet from people that I think didn't quite understand what was happening. Like, I don't think they maybe saw what George Floyd's brother had said. I don't think they realized the context, maybe, out that he was trying to portray there. I think some people got a little shaky with it. I mean, there wasn't necessarily a problem. I think maybe had it been.
I know it was a problem with it if you didn't understand the context.
Right, but I think had he maybe retweeted what George Floyd's brother had said along with that, I think it might have made more sense had it not been just the post by itself. You know what I mean? Like how you can retweet something and add your own stuff. I think that might have been a little different.
And again, to read it, I understood where he was coming from right out the gate. At the same time, it was one of those things. The context of it, of where he was coming from, because he wasn't raised that way. And I know who, we've met Mark. Mark Davis totally could have dissed us and told us, no, I don't want a photo with you girls. No, I don't want to talk to you about anything. But he didn't do that.
Super
because
friendly.
He was raised by a man that allowed inclusivity into his organization and knew that living in Oakland, doing what he did, hiring who he hired, had the staff who he had, it's not about that. We're here for the sport. Now, can we say that about other teams? No, I can't. Because I personally can. But for Raiders, and that's why I'm a Raider fan, I have no problem. I'm not giving away no tickets, no nothing like that. Yes, made a mistake. Yes, it's been corrected. Yes, we know the intention of it. Raider fans, we all right. We're not doing we're not about to do all that. That's crazy.
Well, shout out to everybody that's been checking in. Although Bill Logan did say that Tom Flores is still living.
Oh, he is? I thought Tom Flores died. I thought Tom Flores died. Is he still living? Oh, that's right. He is living. He was just doing a commercial. My bad. Jesus, I say recipes. I don't want to wish that on that man.
Ooh,
Yes, Tom
no.
Flores is still alive. First Latin
Okay.
coach. But like I said, we have a franchise of having history made with people that normally are not the norm of anything else on that shield. So I'm not getting rid of Mark Davis. That's not going to happen. Yes, I was pissed. Yes, it was a little embarrassing, but understand the context of what he meant. And he retained information off of what his brother said about the family still breathing. He expressed that. So now that you know that, I need everybody to just quash everything.
Yes.
Yeah. Everybody is
so.
quick to be offended. Absolutely. We're triggered by so many things. And it doesn't help me to be triggered by people that don't look like me. Don't call me. Don't text me saying stuff when that's only going to trigger me more. I need to talk to my fellow brethren. I need to talk to people that we know what the deal is on the situation, but we don't need any outside noise. And I think outside noise does not help. And I'm going to shout you out, and I'm shout out all my other friends who are not Black that did text me after the verdict was, and they were able to understand that this is not the justice piece we're looking for, but it's a step in the right direction. I appreciate all of those that called me to acknowledge that, to know that the work is still needing to be done, and the fact that they are still being allies and fighters for me and everybody else.
And
so
we've got to get this George Floyd law passed and into the,
we need laws passed. It ain't even just about George Floyd. We need it to be justice is when Black people do not get harassed by police and killed by police. That's justice. And those that do kill us are tried and convicted fairly. That's justice. This is an accountability right now. He's accountable for his things. He's found guilty for his accountability. What's that sentence look like? Like I said,
it better be large.
I don't know. We don't know. Second degree, third degree,
second degree, third degree, and then I mean that's
those are lesser charges. We don't know. Rodney King's police got convicted too, and you see what they got off with. Same thing. I don't know. But the thing I do know is that we can vote, we can fight, we can do all the things we need to do. We could reach out to our local congresspeople, local senators, anybody in our state, and make these initiatives happen. That's what we can do.
Yes.
So that's where I'm
at. And the thing is let's not talk about getting registered to vote and vote when it's about to vote. Get ready now. Start preparing now. Get out there and make sure that you're able to. Don't have to just vote for the president. You can vote for all your local congresswomen, commissioners, all that. Let's get some things changed.
Well, local legislation is where it's at. If you really were to Google all the NRS codes in Nevada and being a person that drives and know what the laws are, you literally in this state can't have anything dangling from your rearview mirror. I know we like our air freshener. I know we like our dice. I know we like all our little things, but that is a punishable offense. If you did not know, some police can choose to pull you over for it. Some cannot, but you need to look into it because that is probable cause as well. So don't do it. Educate yourself and know that when you're doing something, you know all the laws that's written. You know that the fact that if you pull me on, I want to know what the cost is. And if you didn't know, then you got to smarten up and know. So be careful of that because they can get a reason for anything. Just be educated enough to know if that reason is valid or not. That's my thing.
All you got to do.
So don't hang nothing from your rear view because our guy just got killed over that. Don't do that here because people do. And I tell them like, hey, and personally, I got a ticket for it. I'm just saying.
Really? See, I did not know that.
Years ago.
Wow.
They pulled me over and said, oh, we got your air freshener hanging for your rear view that you can't have that. Can't have it. Yeah. So don't do that. Look at your NRS codes. Look them all up. It's a long, lengthy thing. It's a lot of information. And yes, it gets a little mundane, but know that there are things out there that are so punitive that you can have cause to get pulled over. So be careful.
Be very careful then. Jeez.
Yeah.
No idea.
And to Bill's point, shout out to Bill Logan. Yes.
Yeah.
Tired of being in the face of all of that for sure.
Yep.
They're already there. They need to make change. Absolutely. I mean, they definitely need to make change. Hey, Dre. Shout out to you.
Dre in the house.
They definitely need to make change.
Goose in the house too, so we appreciate that. Shout out to LTDB.
But again, it's not justice until laws have changed. You're gonna put out little ticky-tacky bills and stuff for other cultures and stuff, but you ain't done nothing for Blacks yet. So I'm waiting for that. That's my justice. When I don't have to have anxiety of walking out of my door.
All right, so I
understand?
see that our guest has popped in.
Oh,
We
cool.
appreciate him, so we're going to get him on. I'm excited for this one.
Yes,
Let's
Nick.
welcome him. What's up, Nick?
Nick.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, ladies, my apologies for being late. I don't like making a bad first impression, but I apologize for
I
being
heard it's
late.
your birthday, though.
Yeah, it is. Thank you.
Happy
you.
birthday, Nick.
Hey!
Thank you, ladies. I appreciate that.
We're going to take a cheers for you right now, okay?
Cheers to Nick.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us. We've seen you on a couple of our, local other shows out here too, and we've been following you and vice versa. And we love what you do. We wanted to get you on and hear from you and kind of, so give us like your story first of all. What got you into this sports entertainment media world and what's going on with you?
Well, I'll surmise it the best way I can, so we don't take up too much time. But how I got in is basically I grew up writing, so I grew up into poetry. Of course, you talk sports. When I was young, in junior high school, you get on the yard. At that time, you get on the newspaper and you like, oh, okay, man, your team sucks. Man, your guy sucks. But man, hell no, this dude is horrible. You go back and forth. And then in the barbershops, you get into arguments in the barbershop. Everybody's an expert in the barbershop, so you and I didn't realize how much I was sharpening my skills at that time, but I didn't know how to get into the world of media. So, you go through life, you deal with different things. Like I've been to barber college. That didn't work out. I did model for about 4 years. I was signed to LA Models for like 3 years.
Okay.
Got a couple of, made some nice little money there, but then I realized I reached my ceiling and I had to figure out something else to do. So I ended up going back to school. And when I went back to school, I fell into an internship that led me to ESPN LA. And I ended up getting an internship. I was blogging, and this was back in the time where bloggers were considered the antichrist of journalism. Like they were not respected at all. Not like it is now. Like you just get on the computer and just type away. It's like, oh, you got followers. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like that back then. So, but I had, God rest his soul, Eric Wade, who was a mentor and a friend of mine, who had been a photographer in sports for about 10 years prior to me meeting him. Took me under his wing and said, hey man, I'm not gonna promise you the world, but whatever I do have, I'll share it with you. I'll give you advice. Whatever I feel like you need to work on, I'll let you know. And that's exactly what he did. And on it. So when I went back to school, I was going to school. I was working part-time. I was interning 21 hours a week, and I was covering events around LA.
Nice.
So for the first 13 months, I had no life. People rarely saw me. I was just in and out, and I was hungry. But I always had an address. What I mean by an address is I tell this to people all the time. I shout out to DJ Head, because DJ Head was the one that pretty much gave me this info. I never knew that's what it was, but he's always talking about having an address. And it's like, okay, you got money in your account. You want to purchase something off Amazon. Okay. And you're like, well, Amazon doesn't want to give me my stuff. What's up with Amazon? Amazon is tripping. They're discriminating against me. They don't want me to have my stuff. It's like, no, you have to type in an address so they know where to send it to. Yeah. They can't send you your product if you don't know where it's going. So I say that I equate that to, if you don't know where you're going with your journey when it comes to your career or whatever it is, then how do you know how to get there if you have no means to know where the journey is going to end up or where you want it to end up? So that's how from day one, I looked at myself. I was young in the tooth, didn't have 25 cents in my pocket when it came to experience. I knew I wanted to compete with the big boys, the ESPNs, the Fox Sports, the Yahoos of the world. Those are the people I looked up as like, okay, I got to get to this standard here. And I'm still, ascending. I haven't reached my cruising altitude yet, but I'm still ascending. But at that time, that's what my mindset was, and it still remained. And that's why I was hungry. I was aggressive. I was doing things I needed to do to get to that level. And even though I wasn't afforded certain opportunities on the main stage, I didn't wait for anybody. When people didn't want to have me on the radio, I went out and bought time on an independent station, and that's how I learned the radio game. And I understood the radio game, even though I grew up in radio because I was answering phones, I was cutting up sound. I went over to the promotions department at ESPN LA, learned what that was about, learned the connection between all those entities, and just were able to move on to working at AXS.com, working for NBC LA, Still doing stuff with NBC LA as it pertains to being on television every month. Being appearing on Fox Soul. Appearing a couple of times on BBC Radio when I was covering the Super Bowl in Atlanta in 2019. Just afforded all of those opportunities, and so just building up that equity in what we were doing made it, and then also getting to a point where I'm like, okay, look, it's time for me to create my own, because if I get let go from one of these companies, then I can't cover events the way I want to cover them, because I have to have an outlet to cover them. And if I don't have that outlet, I can't cover. So that's what pretty much got my mind initially on the path of, okay, I got to create my own, but then also at the same time, being able to open doors to other people that may want to get on and may be starting out their career, or maybe in a crossroads of their career, and they need help to get to the other side, then I can create that bridge for them. So that's another reason why I wanted to do that. And I've been doing it for many years. So here we are today, and you ladies were gracious enough to have me on your show. So apparently I must be doing something right.
You're doing something great. Yeah. Yeah. No,
You're in LA. You're in LA.
And plus Mola is everything LA, so
you're no wrongs to me.
West Coast to the casket drop. There you go. West Coast to the casket drop.
West Coast, yes. So Lakers, Dodgers, they did it wrong.
How is it to be covering some of the teams that you grew up, like, just being in awe of and being that super fan of?
I lost my fandom probably about the third year I started doing this, because you start to see what goes on behind the scenes, and then you have to be in this professional mindset because you don't want to like fan out. And I won't lie, there's only two people I probably fanned out for, and I didn't let them see me do it, but Derek Jeter was one, because I was a huge Derek Jeter fan.
Okay.
And then obviously Kobe Bryant, the late great Kobe Bryant. And remember, I lost my fandom because it was like, okay, now I'm in a different space. I'm on the other side of the rope, so to speak now. So now I have to kind of feel my way through that and then find my character that's going to be comfortable for me to be able to disseminate the information that I've acquired. So yeah, I lost that fandom, started, just really getting to know the players, because I always wanted to get to know the players and see what makes them move, what makes them, do certain things or say certain things. I was always fascinated by that, because these are human beings. They just have a God-given talent that's a lot of us don't have. So, that's why we are so in awe of these men and women that have this God-given talent.
I mean, we become fangirls or fanboys so quickly and so easily because we're just so enamored with the skills that they have, and we kind of somewhat live vicariously through them at times and feel like, okay, I'm gonna shoot the shot, Kobe for 3. You know what I mean? So you get an attachment, and you see them so much that it's just kind of a constant. So I get that. I totally get,
And they see you, most importantly, and it ain't too many of us in that spectrum. That's another thing I found out. Just because the secretary looked like this don't mean that's what the company is about.
Yeah, that's very true.
And I learned that lesson the hard way. And so I always too said, okay, why am I and one other person the only people of color or black folks in the room? Why is that? And this league is 70+% black, or this league is 40% black. Then why don't we have 40% black media in here?
Right.
I will always toy with that. And I say, okay, when I get an opportunity, I'm gonna make my voice heard. And it doesn't mean I'm alienating anybody else. It doesn't mean that, because I always tell people all the time, there's good and bad in every race. I've had some good white folks that helped me out. I've had some bad ones. I had some good black people help me out. I had some bad ones, some good Latino people, so forth and so on. So you got to look at the person. You got to look at the structure and the energy of the person. If they're willing to help you or they want to try to destroy you, you figure that out. Now you know what you have to do in the long run. So to be around these athletes and even these entertainers, because I've done red carpets, and I'm not gonna lie, the first time I did a red carpet, I had the BGs, y'all. I'm not gonna lie, I was like, oh man, and then I messed up on a question. That made it worse. Like I was talking to I'm not gonna put the entertainer out there, but
I was about to ask, like, who was your worst interview on the red carpet? I was about to have you get into it too.
I'll say this much: 2 people I messed up on. One was the great Sandy Koufax. And I messed up on the question.
Sandy.
Yeah, I messed up on the question, and man, he was not pleased with me. And that was like my first red carpet, mind you. So this is my first red carpet.
Oh no!
And I'm like, oh my God. And
no!
I cringe even to this day, even talking about it, because it's like it brings back, it brings back memories that I don't want to relive. So
well, that's okay. I've totally publicly embarrassed myself as a Raider fan this time, talking about Tom Flores. I thought Tom Flores was died, and I remember we celebrated his birthday last year, and for some odd reason in my mind, I thought he's died.
Yeah. I mean, it happens, right? So I mean, I think I look at it like it's just one of those things where, and there was another a woman who was an actress, and I fumbled the question in, and she, God bless her, because she was very cool about it. Her publicist wasn't that cool about it, and I almost
because they got to do the work. They got to do damage control off of what the question.
And I almost let some things slip out there.
Yeah,
because you're not gonna talk to me crazy. See, I'm a man first, and you're not gonna disrespect me, because we could take this suit and tie off. And we could get, and this, mind you, the publicist, let me be clear, the publicist was a man. So I want to be clear about that. I don't want people to think I'm trying to do something. No.
No, I assume this publicist was a guy.
This publicist was a guy. And I'm like, dog, we can go on this red carpet, and we can go behind this escalator, and we can go talk about it further. If that's what you want to do. But I'll be damned if you're gonna disrespect me or talk to me like I'm like you gonna down talk me. I already feel bad enough as it is, bro. So we had a couple exchange words, and he pretty much got the message. And
Nick was ready to get down.
I mean, I'm a professional, but I'm still from the Crenshaw district in Inglewood area. I grew up in Carson, so I'm still LA. I'm still LA all day, and I'm not a tough guy. I'm a very nice guy. I'm a very cool guy. I don't want no problems. Just
no disrespect. That's all.
You're just not gonna talk to me crazy. Yeah, it's just like the same thing with you ladies. You ladies, you ladies are professional, but there's a certain level that you're gonna tolerate, and there's a certain level you won't tolerate, and that's just all it is.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, especially when they think that you're just doing a job. Well, that's beyond this. I really don't need this, to be honest. So if you want to say something, let's talk about it. But that's neither here nor there. Anyways, so Nick, let's get into a little bit. But what do you, since you do both entertainment and sports, what do you have more fun with, or what do you get more enjoyment out of? Is there more one or the other, or is it both the same?
Not really. I like them the same. It just depends, because you can flip the script, and it's cool because in sports, because I do the entertainment side, I do the pop culture side, I can flip the questioning, because these athletes get so many sports questions. So a lot of times I'll come with community questions. I'll come with, if I see on their Twitter or their Instagram, they like hey man, what you think about, if I want to ask LeBron, hey man, I saw you bumping, Benny the Butcher. Like, what's your favorite track off Benny the Butcher? He's like, oh, it breaks the monotony. So I know how to do that, and just like I was talking to Dave Roberts, the manager of the Dodgers, the other day, and everybody was asking him all these baseball questions, which is great. I mean, he's a baseball manager, but I broke the monotony. I said, let me ask him something that's more life related, because he's always been kind of vocal about certain issues concerning, people of color and Black people and communities and things of that nature. So I just asked him, I said, obviously MLB has a serious issue with, less than 7% Black American baseball players in the league. But when you look at the managerial side, there's even less than that. So what do you see, how important is that to make sure that we have more, MLB gives opportunities to more managers of color, Black folks and
more representation,
and we're coming off of Jackie Robinson days.
Right.
So we all know what Jackie Robinson said 9 days
for sure.
before he passed away in 1972. Where he said, well, I'm looking down the third baseline, I want to see more managers that look like me, more managers of color that look like me. So I felt like it was just apropos to ask him that. And he answered it very well. Dave Roberts is one dude I have a tremendous amount of respect for, because he's going to tell you straight. And if he wants to talk about something, he's going to talk about it to the fullest. And, I appreciate him for that. So even with the entertainment side, you can, an entertainer like, oh man, they may be a LeBron fan, or they may be a Kevin Durant fan, or Steph Curry fan. She's like, hey man, we think about Steph, man. He's having an MVP season, right? Even with the team being down. Oh yeah, man, Steph is great. And it breaks the monotony, because they've been asking all kind of entertainment questions all the time. Right. So let me ask you something that's a little bit different. especially on a red carpet, because you can ask more than one question most times. So I'm gonna ask you that first question, obviously, what you're doing, and then I'm gonna get into what. Hey, I noticed that you kind of rock with LeBron James, kind of tough. Like, what is it about LeBron? Is it the basketball acumen? Is it the off the court, what he's done with social injustice and things like that? Like, what do you admire about LeBron? Why do you rock with LeBron so much? And they'll get into it more than I can edit down.
Yeah.
Which is great. So to answer your question, I like them both. I just feel like I have that flexibility to be able to break the monotony, and hopefully they appreciate that.
Yeah.
No. I believe that.
How does it work with you interviewing like Dave Roberts or anybody else in that media sect with other media personalities? Are you getting along with any of your other fellow counterparts when it comes to that, or is it very competitive when it comes to the Q&A portion of getting to the athletes? Like, who's the most accessible? I know those that are like with LA, like, local news media are very accessible, or those and that kind of thing, but in your media sect, like, who is accessible with you, or is there like a competition when it comes to that?
Well, it's all competitive, but I think when you look at, I try to be cool with people who are cool with me. I don't come in there arrogant. At least I don't, I'm very quiet. I'm very observant when I come into a room. Sometimes people, can mistake that for, oh, he don't want to talk to. No, that's just my natural. I'm a natural born introvert. I've had to open myself up, as it were, to be more vocal, to be more outgoing and outlandish at times when I need to be. But I'm a natural born introvert, so I could sit in the room in a party going on. I could be chilling. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm just observing. That's just I'm quiet. That's just me.
People watching.
Are you a Libra?
That's my favorite thing.
I need to know if you're a Libra. Are you a Libra? This is your birthday this month,
I'm a borderline
right?
Taurus. Yeah,
So
I'm a Taurus by
Aries,
3 hours.
See, I don't know about that too much on the Taurus side of that.
Yeah,
but I wonder about the sit observation type thing. That's why I was like, Libras, we kind of do that too.
So I'm that kind of person, but I think it's competitive. I mean, it depends on the sport. Like, I get along with quite a few people. I've been able to forge relationships with people. Baseball writers, some of them are kind of weirdos. I won't lie, they're weirdos. they think they're, because they know the X's and O's and the strike zones and all that stuff. And it's like, dude, that's cool and all. And I don't disrespect your job, but at the end of the day, like, people don't really give a damn about that. People care. People want to be able where you can relate to them as much as you can relate to the subject that you're trying to cover. And so it gets tough because with these Zoom calls, sometimes we don't get called on as much as we should get called on. They call on the same type of people. And my fight has just been Black owned media. A lot of people talk about Black media, which is important, but Black owned media is just as important. Case in point, with the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, who I think are a fantastic, PR organization. I think the PR staff is fantastic. They've afforded me a lot of opportunity. I've been covering that team for 8 years. I'm the only Black-owned media outlet that covers that team.
Wow. Very interesting.
When it comes to the LA Dodgers, which I've been covering that team for about 3 seasons now, I'm the only Black-owned media outlet that I work with, myself and another gentleman. We are the only Black-owned media outlet that covers that team. On majority of the calls, I'm the, as they say, I'm the Jackie Robinson of the calls.
For sure.
And here's the thing. I don't like that.
And here's the thing. When I come to a Dodgers game, if and when I'm ready, like when everything kind of gets healthy and safe to open up, I'm reaching out to you because I want the media. So if you got to put me on your team to do media work, hey, listen.
And that's the thing. It's like,
I'll do it.
I'm open. You know what I mean? I give opportunity to the best qualified person, but I will absolutely look out for my people, especially when I see potential or I see something that can be, okay, they may need a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and I can help them, guide them to be even better than even where I'm at. And if that's the case, then so be it. I don't care. My position is solidified. I don't care because I'm me. There's only one me. Even though my son is named after me, he's still not me. It's just we share the same name. That's it. He's his own individual. He's growing into his own personality. I'm my own personality. Yeah. And that's what I try to instill upon anybody that works. Like, look, you your own person. Don't try to compete other than yourself. Don't try to compete with nobody because it's pointless. I mean, I fell into that trap. You know, I think we all have at some point in time when you go, you looking through somebody's Instagram or you looking, and I talk to friends about like, damn man, I'm not doing enough. Like, what the hell? And you get caught up because you're like, dude, you're not envious. Like, I'm never envious of anybody, but you want to be able to do the same things that they're doing because you feel like, hey man, if they could do it, then I could do it too.
Right.
And you're not stepping on their foot. You know, because I got colleagues of mine that are black-owned media outlets that I tell them, look, I'm proud of y'all. How did you get to this or how did you get to that level? I'm trying to learn because I don't know everything. And I think once we get out of that mode of we think we know everything because we got so much time invested, yeah, we know some things because that's how long we stayed here.
Right.
But how do we get to our destination? Our destination. How do we get there? We're not gonna get there. We come up with that same attitude. So my whole thing is just trying to learn from people that's around me, learn from people that's in my sector that are willing to show me certain things, just like I'll show them certain things. But it's just when you look at this media game. Getting back to your original question, I'm sorry I went off on a tangent.
No, it's cool.
We like tangents. It's okay. Go ahead.
It's cool. I did a tangent earlier.
But I just feel like I want to see more, like even covering the Los Angeles Chargers. I think I'm one of 2 black-owned media outlets to cover the Chargers. I know last season I was the only black-owned media outlet to cover the Los Angeles Rams.
Wow.
I'm the only black-owned media outlet that covers the Los Angeles Kings in the NHL. I've been covering the Kings for many years.
Wow.
But it was under other outlets. But this is the first time I've covered under my own outlet.
In hockey. In hockey, you guys.
And as a kid, I used to play.
Yeah.
As a kid, I used to play. Like I used to play. I started out with roller hockey, then I started playing. I was at the Culver City Ice Rink before they tore it down, which still hurts my heart to this day. But I just want to be able to have more people that look like me that have outlets to do that, because how you can't make statements like, oh, we're going to stand up against systemic and institutionalized racism and oppression and this, that, and the third. But then that stops with media. You don't afford that same opportunity to media. You're a walking contradiction, or you just full of crap. Either one. But it's still not a good look, and it's still poor on the optics when it comes to what you're really about. No different than Mark Davis allowing a tweet from the Raiders account to be pinned on top of that to compound the felony to make light of what happened in the George Floyd case. And then
we talked about that earlier. We talked about that. What is your thoughts on that?
I think it's deplorable. I think it's deplorable. I think he wanted to come out and try to save face after the fact. He wasn't going to say anything. That organization wasn't going to say a damn thing until public pressure on social media and Black Twitter put their foot up his keister and decided, and then they put pressure on them to come out and say something and say, oh, well, we were saying what George Floyd's brother was saying. Well, if you agree so much with George Floyd's brother, the post verdict press conference, then you should have simply just retweeted what he said. Because I noticed there were quite a many people that are reporters on Twitter that quoted everything that gentleman said in his post verdict press conference. You could have retweeted that and just left it alone.
So
Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing.
I'll take it one step further. Is there nobody in his camp that's a representative that looks like us to kind of to get him on that thing? Because before the show started, I went on a whole soliloquy about how Raiders as a history, when Al Davis was running it, of the only team with behind the shield that would hire a Black coach when that was not popular, to hire a Latin coach when it wasn't popular, to have a Black GM when it wasn't popular, to have a Black woman in the corporate arena when it wasn't popular, and to also recruit from HBCUs when that's never been a popular thing. And to have this as his legacy, tweet something out like this, I was personally pissed off and ashamed. But at the same time, I looked at the context of where he was coming from that. But I also thought in hindsight, too, why is there no one on his media team that looks like us or in that space to kind of say, wait a minute, this is what we need you to say, or at least give you kind of some type of, not even education, but just to say, hey, we know you're in solidarity with us, but this is the lingo we're looking for. This is what we want, And there's no one. You said there's zero. And that's very disheartening for me to hear, because it's reflective off of his tweet. So
but see,
my
my thing too is why is he using the Raiders Twitter as his own personal message board? Because here's the deal. You're not going to see Mark Davis tweet for the Las Vegas Aces, and he owns them too, but he's not going to tweet for the Aces on their Twitter.
Well, we don't know that yet. We don't know. We don't know. Because the season hasn't started yet. We don't know. We don't know what an owner will do. I can understand where you're coming from. We don't know what an owner will do because Mark Davis has never tweeted in the history of us even moving to Vegas. He hasn't put out one tweet on anything. This is the first tweet he's ever done. And for it to be this, it's huge because it's caustic at the same time.
It speaks volumes to where your mentality is. And he's not the only team. There's many teams that don't have, they're culturally clueless. Absolutely. And they don't have people of color or black folks in there that can be like, nah, that's not going to fly.
Well, I know that too because it was indicative on the field during the whole BLM, not to cut you off, the canned messages on the fields of different teams. Yeah. And I noticed with the Raiders organization, their message on the field and stuff is very canned. Messages weren't really clear on the helmets. It was very canned. So I just was wondering where this shift came from because that's not what his dad was.
Well, that's but see, when you have other people that you're in business with, and that's the difference. Al Davis was a different kind of guy. That's why the league didn't really like him because, as you mentioned, the things that he did, but also he was a pioneer in some resorts. You also have to look at today's NFL. This is the same NFL that still has not publicly fully apologized to Colin Kaepernick.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
By name.
Absolutely.
Not mentioning the attributes that Colin Kaepernick did. I'm talking about saying, hey, we as the NFL, the National Football League, the owners and operators of 32 teams in the National Football League sincerely apologize to one Colin Kaepernick for causing harm, for causing you not to be able to work and live your dream the way you want to be, the way you desire for yourself and your family to live and survive. That is a public apology.
Absolutely.
Here's what we will do with you. We're going to create X, Y, and Z. We would like for you to be a part of it. We would like for you to be the overseer of it, this, that, and the third. That's not going to happen because there are people that have too much pride. And again, I cover the NFL. You know what I mean? I've covered Super Bowls. I've done 2 Super Bowls. The NFL is a league where there is trying to figure out the first.
I understand. Hey, listen, I feel like I've tapped in your mind and I don't want to vocally say it. And I've always said
they're out for themselves.
There's a superiority. There's a superiority.
We know.
Right.
Hey, listen.
Yeah.
I wonder why I still watch. I watch because of the Girl Chat Sports. I watch because, it is giving a opportunity for a lot of athletes to focus and highlight their attributes and their talents and stuff like that. But personally, I feel you on where you're going with that.
I mean, I cover it, and I fight.
You have to fight.
I want to fight with everybody else that's trying to get a seat at the table to let our voices be heard and more so respected. We are respected outlets. Just because we have certain naming deals with bigger companies to be able to expand our coverage to the masses doesn't mean that you should just step over. I had to correct somebody one time because I have a deal with a couple of media entities. And so I always put that out there just to let them know that, hey, we're not just some fly by night organization. And so when the gentleman called on me to, respond, they say your name and your affiliation. I stopped. I said, yeah, this is Nick Hamilton, Nightcast Media. Hey, Chris, and I went into my question. Because I'll be damned if I work this hard and you just gonna step over my stuff like it's nothing. No, you are going to respect it, or you're going to act like you respect it for the time that I'm on there. And then you can say whatever the hell you want. I don't care because it'd be at the bottom of a birdcage in the morning. So I don't really care. But while I'm on there, you will respect my hard work, my dedication, my blood, sweat, and tears that I poured into building the empire that I'm continuing to build.
Yeah. Tell it. So what is your take, Nick, as far as, and if you can speak on this or not, the whole Deshaun Watson thing? I think we're at 50 accusers at this point. I don't know where. I've lost count. But not to negate the women that are actually making real accusations. I'll say we're at 22. I was just being funny with the 50, but 22. And then you have a sector of women who have said that they have had interactions with him and no altercations have happened. Nothing has happened. What do you think that whole thing kind of led into as far as where he's at? And what do you think the future holds for him with that situation?
Well, I'll answer the last part first. I think he's stuck in Houston. I think he's stuck. I think that's exactly what they wanted to happen. Anytime you see men rise up against an establishment, there's always going to be some harsh consequences. So you better make sure your nose is clean. And, you know, I'm not saying that Deshaun Watson is guilty. I'm not saying he's completely innocent because I don't know. I wasn't in the room with some of those young ladies that are accusing him of misconduct and you know, sexual immorality, as they like to call it down south, or whatever the case may be. I wasn't in the room, so I don't know. To the ladies that came out and said, no, Deshaun didn't act like this, I believe them. The ones that didn't, that said he didn't act like a perfect gentleman or somebody that had, you know, a sound mind, there may be some smoke to that fire. But it's all, I just look at the timing of things. It's often interesting how this man said, hey, you guys have traded away my pieces for 2 Twinkies and a donut. And, you know, I don't want to be here. I want out. They tried to appease him. He was like steadfast. No, I don't care who you bring in. And I feel for Pep Hamilton because I think Pep Hamilton is a great quarterbacks coach. Look what the great job he's done with Justin Herbert during his rookie season. I think Pep Hamilton is an incredible coach. I think he's an incredible football mind. And it's sad that he tried to, you know, he went there and maybe he thought, hey, I had a chance to coach Deshaun Watson, you know. And now he will, because I think Deshaun is going absolutely nowhere. I could be wrong, but I just think I look at the timing. And all of a sudden, these allegations start coming out.
Yeah, I found it to be very weird. I found it to be very, very weird with that whole situation. I wanted to know your take on that.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I mean, there's still not like any there's not even like a bunch of police reports. Like, how do you have all these civil lawsuits, but you got nothing coming in on the like verification and proof side? Like, you know, I could make a bunch of accusations right now, but if I don't got nothing to follow it up with, like, it's just ridiculous.
You would think these women would have pressed charges of some sort to say, hey, this man violated me in this particular way. This man, you know, did this or did that. You would have think, especially in Texas, you would think that somebody would have came forward and said, okay, look, this man grabbed my whatever, and I didn't like it. It wasn't consensual, you know, and press charges. Now they got to investigate. You know,
it's very coincidental how this is all transpiring.
There's no police report.
Right. And you want to wait. I mean, everything happened between like 6 months and a year, but all of a sudden they all want to come at the same time.
Far be it for me to speculate, but goodness gracious, if you making macaroni and cheese, it don't smell like macaroni and cheese.
That's like Kraft.
And that's not on Kraft either. That's not even Kraft. I've never had Kraft macaroni and cheese, just to be honest with you guys. I've always had the Southern mac and cheese. I don't even know what the Kraft situation tastes like.
When you in school, that's the cheapest one to get.
Yeah. Oh, okay. You know, it's so funny because we didn't have that. We had big Nevadans and big Virginias and all that kind of stuff. Burger names named after her. But yeah, that's funny. We did. I mean, it's crazy. Okay. Interesting. So you also talked about the Dodgers. I want to just touch on you real quick because coming close to that end. My boy Mookie Betts had the game of his life at one point, but got hit by a 96 mile per hour fastball against Mel's Mariners the other night.
Wait, can we just take a quick time out because I'm wearing this to give my guys their mojo back. It's the 1997 Western Divisional Championship. So I'm just saying, like, first of all, the Mariners are number 3 in the Major League Baseball. That has not happened, if not ever. I don't care about a ring right now. I'm not even worried about that right now. Let me just get to the playoffs. Let me just get to the
number
playoffs.
3 in what?
Hey, number 3 in the Major League Baseball. We are number 3.
Let me look and see.
Go ahead and
real
fact
quick.
check that right now. As of like 4
that was
o'clock
not the
today.
case a week ago.
No, it is definitely the case now. She said,
and then you go throw a 96 mile per hour fastball on my boy Mookie Betts and think that's gonna mess him up at the bat. You know what I'm saying? 96 miles per hour hitting this guy right in his arm as he's at bat. And I'm feeling like, what the heck is going on? You're not going to mess up my Dodgers because we're going to win another world championship. We are number 1 in the league right now to your number 3. But I wanted to ask Nick real quick. Has that been the story right now as far as Dodgers camp goes? Or what is the story with Dodgers? I need to know.
Not really. I mean, it was concerning. We was talking to Dave Roberts. It was concerning. He was obviously out that last game against the Mariners. They have a big series starting tomorrow against the San Diego Padres. A series that they won in San Diego, which had a playoff-like atmosphere, which was some incredible. There was 3 incredible games, and I hope we get 4 incredible games at Dodger Stadium just like that, because that Friday night game should be a 30 for 30 at some point, because that 12 inning duel where it was like, hey, nobody's going home, somebody's walking away a winner, and Corey Seager was like, I had enough of this, and hit a 2-run blast and said, okay, night, see you in the morning. Those type of games between Trevor Bauer and Blake Snell, who I call Blake Snell is Thanos.
He went to my high school.
Yeah, listen, Blake Snell is Thanos to the Dodgers, and the Dodgers are the Avengers.
Yes, we are.
But at the same time, I look at this Dodger team, and I'm like, this Dodger team is so incredibly deep. The only thing that kind of concerns me still is the bullpen. I think they'll get better with time. I'm not sold on Kenley Jansen. I'll be completely honest with you.
Yeah, but he's had a better closing inning, though. He hasn't really disappointed.
Not better than David Price. Not better than David Price.
Right. Yeah, listen. Hey, Dave Price didn't play with us last season. You ain't got to convince me on Dave Price. I'm already knowing. That's another Red Sox player that we acquired with Mookie Betts. I was waiting to see this guy perform. I was trying to hold out on Kenley. I thought Kenley should have been gone after last season, but I wanted to give the brother a chance. So far in our opening games, he's been okay as a closer. I'm not sold, but I'm safe to say we've had big lead runs too. So it's not like he's under pressure when he's closing out. I need to see the under pressure game to kind of determine that. But Dave Price definitely is, yeah.
I mean, the Dodgers are red hot, man. They're just a complete team. I mean, as the season progresses, I mean, there's going to be injuries, obviously, but you have so many arms with Julio Urias, Dustin May.
Dustin May, yes, my redhead guy, yes.
Blake Triton, Tony Gonsolin.
Yeah.
David Price can come in at start at any point of day. Roberts needs him to start. And the beautiful thing about David Price is, beyond the things he's done off the field with the Players Alliance and bringing more willingness to, Black issue, communities, Black and brown communities and things of that nature. The fact that this man is willing to take any role that he is designated speaks volumes to him, not just as a baseball player, but as a man. And the advice he's willing to give to the younger pitchers is remarkable. And that's why he's having so much success, because that good energy is just giving right back to him. And that's why the Dodgers have been on the winning end. I love the organization. I love the Dodgers organization. I think Andrew Freeman deserves a lot of kudos for all the years that he took, the hits that he took during those years.
I gave him hits too.
I gave him a couple.
We all gave him smoke.
I gave him a couple.
I gave Andy Freeman smoke, for real.
But I think the difference maker is when Farhan Zaidi finally left the organization and it was just Andrew Freeman's organization. Gotcha. I think he had a lot more freedom to do what he really wanted to do now, because he didn't have to share that responsibility anymore. And Andrew Freeman is an alpha. Leave Andrew Freeman in the room and let him be. He knows what he's doing. Let him be. He don't need no help. Let him be. And I think Stan Kasten and the Guggenheim partners and Magic did a phenomenal job bringing Andrew Freeman out here and being able to build this team the way they need to build it. Yes, they were cheated out of a World Series championship many years ago, but at the same time,
previous seasons. I mean, not from last season, the season before. No, with the Astros and everything. I mean, I could go down the list.
But you know what? What's done is done, and every team, every team goes through it. And I think now they can be on the verge of a dynasty, much like how we saw the San Francisco Giants, win 3 championships in 5 years. I think we can see something like that with the Dodgers, where they create their own little dynasty in today's age because they're so immensely talented. And Cody Bellinger still hasn't returned yet. So when Cody Bellinger comes back,
when Belly comes back, it's a wrap. Yeah,
so,
for sure.
You know, it's a beautiful thing. I mean, AJ Pollock is staying healthy. He's playing well. It's it's good to be out there and opening day and being out there. Period. Just to see fans starting to be ushered back in. And I think
are they currently at 30%? What's the
I believe
capacity
30.
right now?
I believe 33%, if I'm not mistaken. Until obviously the tiers continue to rise as the cases continue to subside. And obviously more people are getting vaccinated. So, people are, doing what they want to do, and the cases are not rising, which is a good thing. And so I think that's going to be beneficial to allowing more and more fans to come back. So when June 15th, California is scheduled to open all the way back at the latest, maybe June 30th, where every single thing is back. I think that's a good sign. And I think that's a sign to things to come. Whatever this new normal is going to be for us, we'll be able to get a step closer to being involved in that. So,
yeah, I can appreciate that. And not for nothing, Mel, I will say you were kind of wrong on the third place. You guys are actually in second place for the American.
So must have just lost then, because we were in third. We inflated it.
So second place for American League West for the division. Okay, let's be real. So for the entire MLB, you guys are ranked 6th, which isn't bad. 11-7, we'll take right now. We'll take it. Listen, you got a long season.
Listen, but I'm just happy because usually at this point in time, no matter what, we still under 500. Clearly, we are way above 500 now. So I'm gonna keep on with that.
Absolutely.
It's not 14-4, but 11-7 would do.
Of course, yeah. But hey, if you can win if you can beat one of 2 games against the 2 last championships in Major League Baseball back to back, we'll get the Astros 1-1, to the Dodgers 1-1. Like, I'm with it. Like, that's something that I can be proud of as a Mariners fan.
and have that proud moment because it's only temporarily. So let's just
I'm gonna have a drink to that.
And when we get to the real and see that you guys end up being under 500 and back to the bottom.
Listen, this is the one team that struggled in Seattle for my entire life. So let me just have this one time where we.
I'm giving you your flowers. I'm giving you kudos.
It's been a tough road for these.
You guys are third place in the American League West. Congratulations. Third place. I love it.
You said second. What happened to second? Now you dropping me back down?
Second. Yeah. American League West, second place. And to Nick's point, not like 14-4 like my boys in blue. That's number 1 and everything. But hey, we'll take it. We'll definitely take it.
Nick, we didn't even get to any topics. We got on a lot of good, like I said, when I hit you up, I was like, we just kind of flow organically and just go as it goes. So we appreciate you. But I did want to get your take on what's happening out as far as the MVP for the NBA race right now. It's, because Steph's had this amazing month. He's broken records, made history, but then you still got the rest of the guys in the league. Is there something that you foresee? Because we're in the playoff push now. Everybody's really pushing hard now to get into that playoff picture.
And players are getting hurt as they're pushing.
Yeah.
For sure. And staying hurt too, unfortunately. Yeah.
You got to look at Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid is really still come back from injury. You got to look at, the Joker. Even though the Joker ain't the best looking guy, I think that's what throws a lot of people off.
I think that's the MVP, honestly.
He's not the best looking guy. He's kind of doughy. So people look at that like, nah, that dude can't be MVP. Nah, hell no.
I definitely feel like he's the MVP. I think he is the MVP. I'm sorry.
But I think if you're going to put Steph Curry in the MVP conversation, and you're going to put some people are putting even Luka Doncic in the MVP conversation, then how come you don't put Paul George in that MVP conversation, especially with the numbers that Paul George has been putting up and battling through injury? And Paul George is the top three team in the Western Conference, right? So, and I'm just saying, I'm not saying these guys should win an MVP. I'm just saying be in the conversation. I think it should go. To me, it's probably going to come down to the wire between Embiid and Joker. And they're probably going to look at where these teams are ranked by the time the season's end. And that's probably going to determine who the MVP is. I would be surprised as hell if they give Joker the MVP where Denver currently sits right now. Even though I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it. But I would just be surprised based upon previous track records of how they've been able to manage MVPs as it pertains to players and where their teams are.
Because it's been a very subjective. There's no like rules to it. Like, what is it's more of a definition of what is MVP to you. Right. And right now, currently, it's halftime between Denver and Portland, and they're up 60-57 right now. So we'll see how this game pans out. But I feel like Joker should get it because Joker has been clutch in situations. It's who can save the day and put the cape on. And he has been that guy to do it. But like you said, there's a lot of people you invoke into that conversation. Steph Curry is always going to be hot. I feel like Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, probably the two best backcourt players I've seen in a very long time minus the Klay Thompson factor. But for Steph Curry to be who he is, he's just a phenom. But people were saying LeBron before he got hurt that he should be the MVP. So it's this whole subjective thing. And he was. And if you look at the value of, do you put it on the value of who do you want out of this whole Scott list of players? Everybody's going to pick LeBron. That's where it gets subjective. Like, who do you vote for MVP when it comes to that?
Yeah, definitely.
So it's just interesting. And because Steph Curry's hot now, it's just the media wants to put out there like, oh, he should be MVP. It's like the Rookie of the Year thing. We knew Melo had it, and then he lost it. So now they're looking at Anthony Edwards.
Which they should.
And I still think, which they should. Because he's been balling like crazy.
Ant-Man had the dunk of the year.
Yes. And he's been balling like
crazy.
Now,
Miles Bridges is very close to that dunk of the year. And then Paul George is right behind them for his dunk of the season. So
yeah, but he ain't a rookie, though. So if we look at the Roys.
Oh, no, I'm not saying dunks. I'm saying as far as his dunks. Okay. But rookies, Ant-Man, to me, was Rookie of the year. Yeah. I said that from day one. Before LaMelo, everybody hyped on the LaMelo train. I was like, Ant-Man's going to be Rookie of the Year because I just saw something different in him. I see him as a different player, and there's no hype on him. So he doesn't have that much pressure on him like LaMelo has pressure. When LaMelo screws up, everybody hears about it. If Ant-Man screws up, some of us hear about it.
People don't even know Anthony Edwards. They think it's the guy from ER at this point. They're like, who?
Well, we know him now because anytime you get a nickname, people know you.
Yeah.
So we know Ant-Man now.
Yeah, we do.
Nick Hamilton, thank you so much. But so everybody knows, I mean, I know your tagline's up there. That's your Instagram or Twitter? It's Instagram, right?
My Instagram and Facebook are at Nick Hamilton LA. My Twitter is now at Nick Hamilton 213.
Oh,
okay. Rep it.
I got you on Twitter because I tagged you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I had to change my Twitter handle because Twitter wanted to be a bunch of buttholes. So
some Twitter stuff.
Oh, man. Twitter.
No. Yeah. But we thank you. I know you guys have your media company and stuff. Is there other shows and stuff that you're doing that people can find or they can look for if they're watching the show or listening to the show later and want to check you out?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Every Thursday, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern on Dash Radio, Dash Talk X, myself and my other host, Jackie Ray, we do the opposite reaction. We talk about sports, entertainment, culture, politics. We do it all. We don't agree that much, and if we do agree, it's because we don't agree with society. So that's pretty much what keeps it that way.
I love it.
But she's phenomenal. And then I have my show every week, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific on Sirius XM Slam Radio 145 TMA with Nick Hamilton every Tuesday. And then also make sure you check me out on YouTube at youtube.com/NH Experience TV. Find all the latest and greatest in the world of sports and pop culture, interviews. I have a bunch of stuff for years up there. So you can go back and check out the old stuff, check out the new stuff. We have some things in development. Nightcastmedia.com coming soon. We have a rollout coming soon. So be on the lookout for that. And a lot of great things coming about. We got some shows in development. So it's a lot of great things coming about.
Oh, that's awesome, Nick.
Well, we're here to support you. We love it. Yes,
man. We
most
love
definitely. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your birthday to join us. And please go enjoy the rest of your evening.
Hey, what better way to spend it with you two lovely ladies? And thank you guys for having me.
Thank you so much. Like, I literally, seriously, I'm making a pilgrimage to LA. Like, I got to get to LA, sooner than later.
You make it sound like it's so far, like it's a pilgrimage. I'm like,
it is because they're not letting us into Dodger Stadium. They're saying it's only locals. It's only 30%. I'm making a pilgrimage to get to Dodger Stadium this season. I need to see a game. I need my fix. I go to a Dodgers game every year, and to not go 1 year is going to kill me. You know what I mean?
Well, by mid-June, you should be able to be back in the house. So
all right, and I'm hitting you up too because I'm coming out there.
Hey, holla at me, both of you.
So,
I mean, it'd be great to see both of you guys. Maybe you guys can do a show on location.
That'd be good. Yes.
Maybe the Mariners will come to town.
No.
Well, when they come, well, you know what? When they come to Angel Stadium,
there you go,
and they face Mike Trout and Ohtani.
That's all right. It's okay. We listen. The unknown talent. It's making some waves right now. It's okay. It's all right.
Right.
It's all right. They'll just get traded to the Yankees next year anyway. So I mean, it's the history of the Mariners, unfortunately.
Woo. We won't even talk about the Yankees.
Yeah.
Brian.
All right. Got some trouble right
Thank
now.
you, Nick. We appreciate you. Please take care. We will be in touch, and continued blessings, and have a great birthday. Thank you.
Happy birthday, Nick.
Thank you, ladies. You guys continue success. Thank you so much.
Bye. So he's good. Aww.
He is cool.
Well, before we go, let's just shout out to our sponsor one more time. We appreciate Sabrina Moore, One Hope Wine, a little more to sip. Go ahead and check her out, www.onehopewine.com/myshop/Sabrina-Moore. We appreciate you. We appreciate everyone that's tuned in. We thank everybody. Shout out to Nate. We appreciate you tuning in, as well as Donetta. Great show earlier with her and the No Place Off Sports podcast too.
She's been having some great guests on there.
Even Becker chimed in too. We got Bex in the house. We still need to get Bex to get on the show too. So we'll have to hit him up later.
I saw him on there. For sure.
I had one more thing I wanted to mention because I went to the Vegas Golden Knights game on Monday.
Oh yeah, talk about it last night, right?
Yeah, Monday night. So
Monday night.
There was a little app you can get. So they have the bare minimum of fans. I think it's like 6,000 fans. Great social distancing. Every other there's me and Sarah went to potted too. We didn't have no one in front of us, so you got to kick your legs up. Very nice. However, here's my issue now with going. I don't want to go back until there's a full opening, because not only do they only have like that one basic concession stand open, so your basic hot dog, nachos, popcorn, no soda, no fountain drinks, only like cans of whatever. Nothing was open except for those one concessions. So it's like basic, and it was gross. Then they want you to stay in your seats. Like, no, we're talking hockey where there's 20-minute breaks between periods. So you can't really go walk around, head up to, the One Oak, or you can't go down to the Jameson bar. You can't travel throughout the inner workings of the arena to go, see other people or find friends or just to walk around. They want you to sit. It's like, go get a beverage or go get a meal or go to the bathroom, which wasn't, sitting around for 20 minutes on top of been sitting there for the game is like a little extra. Parking was still free on Monday. I heard it was supposed to change Monday, but it didn't. So luckily we were able to still park for free at the New York. Game was great though. I mean, we were down by 2, scored 2 in the third, went to overtime, went to a shutout, and got that extra win. So our Vegas Golden Knights, they're playing tonight. If they win tonight, I get a playoff berth automatically.
Good.
Yes.
That's
so yeah,
great.
I enjoyed being back live sports, like seeing the arena, being back in the game. The fans' energy was great, but just the whole, like, you can't move around. You can't like do something. It was just, I can't sit still that long. So that's a 3-hour game.
Here's the thing. I mean, all arenas are doing different rules. The Lakers just announced you can't even go to a concession stand, so you can't even eat there. So, I mean, all these different little measures that you're taking for all these arena things is very interesting to me.
Oh, and you can't bring a purse. No purses.
Right.
No
a
bags.
lot of the arenas are like that. No
Not
bags,
even
no
clear
purses.
bags.
And I'm fine with that. I mean, Carrie's got all the doggone jeans and stuff they make these days. The pockets are deep in them. We have accessibility up top.
Yeah.
I keep most of my
But if
money.
you can't even eat there, like, I got to start packing snacks because I can't.
Well, you better pack a snack or you better eat before you get there. I mean, first of all, who's paying those concession prices anyway for food except the fans?
The tall town beers are now $17.
But yeah, exactly. So I'm eating before I get to the game anyway.
Yeah.
And you better have your little hydro flask or whatever they allow in there. Hopefully they can allow that. Do they allow that, or you have to get a drink?
Nope. I had to buy a water.
And that was $10.
Probably, because I bought water and popcorn, and then of course I was still hungry, so I needed M&Ms. But I wasn't going to pick a hot dog, and I wasn't going to have no nachos. So it was.
You got to eat before you get
there.
But
anyways, it's still a great experience. I was glad to see VGK live again. It's been a whole year and some change, so that was nice.
Right, that's great.
other than that, it was good. I'm excited for them to make the playoffs if they can win this game. So I'm all for it. I also
Shout out
wanted
for
to
Sarah for inviting you. That's dope.
Hell yeah, it was good. And then also just one quick girl power. You know how these orange hoodies came about for the WNBA to kind of bring more exposure? A lot of the guys were wearing these orange hoodies. You can still see them rocking the orange hoodies. We got orange hoodies. Well, Michelle Wie is working with the LPGA to design a new campaign to bring awareness to women's golf.
Oh, I love that.
Right? So I'm down for like a women's golf hoodie or something. Like I can't play, but I'll definitely rep for the ladies. So
I used to be able to hit balls so well. And I sold my golf clubs. But you have to be out there every day. But I'm down for the women acknowledgement. That's perfect.
I love it. Keep
women
so
it's gonna be a nice green hoodie, like the Masters jacket.
I'm not sure. That would be cool.
Yellow?
But I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. I don't know. But anyways, again, cheers to you, Mo. We appreciate you. Everybody out there for tuning in. Thank you. Thank Nick. Make sure you follow him. Stay up tuned because he's got some great shows out there, great media companies. So we appreciate that. And hey, we'll check on you next Wednesday. Same time, same place.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye, you guys.